how do you differentiate in the market? Where do you see the opportunities that are there, and also what benefits most in the markets you are operating in?
Yeah, absolutely, Stefan. As I briefly mentioned, the world of water quality monitoring has really resided in sort of like manual lab testing. You still talk about sending a guy out, picking up a lab sample, driving over for several hours, and then after a week back, you get some test results. I mean, it's fascinating, as Chris mentioned, in this day and age where everyone is tracking everything, even on their body, with all the Fitbits and all the sensors that we have on our system. Somehow we don't understand the quality of the water we drink in the cities we live in, and it's just not been a priority. And so when you look at the volume of data that's available, that's actionable, Stefan, we have a problem because we have waste data. We even have air quality data, but we don't have high caliber water quality data. And give you a very quick example. I grew up with maybe about 15 waterborne illnesses before I was even 15 years old. It probably made me stronger for COVID, but net, I grew up in a region where essentially it was okay. It was the norm. We got an hour of water a day, and we just filtered water multiple times and drank it thinking that now it's going to be safer than what it was before. It's what you knew, but that's how it was for decades, and parts of the region, and it probably still continues like that in India. And so it was kind of compelling for me that it's shocking that we're letting it be that way when there is so much of technology that's possible. And coming from a data center type of world and a very technologically advanced segment of the market, for me, using that into the water sector was a must. And so really leveraging the innovation around robotics and leveraging some new techniques and patents, and really bringing our own fold of ideas to solve this was critical. So if you look at differentiators, I mean, you're talking about some instrumentation companies that are out there that have built some instruments, Stefan, but it's really handheld probes. You dip it in the water, you see some color change, or you're still looking at instruments the size of a refrigerator costing millions of dollars, and somebody still has to be extremely sophisticated to manually calibrate that equipment for a couple of parameters and understand contamination. We have to make it accessible. If we're not making it accessible, if we're not making it less cost prohibitive, actually even shift it further, make it affordable, we cannot get mass adoption. If we can get mass adoption, we can get the kind of data that's going to tell us what's happening at the ground level. And without that understanding, we can't actually prevent a disease outbreak that's happening from water. We could have prevented Flint, Michigan from happening until the amount of people affected. And there's still people in denial when usually when I say water quality, even 8 years ago, folks would ask me if I'm working in Africa or India. They would not realize that this is happening in your backyard in the United States or other developed countries in Europe. And so it is a shared problem. It's an ubiquitous issue. And so we're creating a new market, and now we're seeing massive amount of companies, Stefan, coming in as platform companies. But you have to realize it's fancy to do AI platform companies, but it's all about the data that you put in. So if you don't have very high quality data that you put in, your fancy models are not going to really take you anywhere. And I think that we felt the need and the compelling challenge to create the sensors to actually detect the data and then be able to bring about the massive change as we grow into a very data-centric play for clients across the world.